going to do our JCPS backpack refresher. It is me, Rebecca Reynolds, Kathleen Receiver, Russ Hockenberry. We are sans Elaine Ebenatha today because she's out for some health reasons, but we're all good to go, so we're happy to have you here. My fellow Dig In leaders, how's it going?
It's going great. We are creeping into double-digit viewers right now, Matt Volka. We're ready to do this thing right. Let's do it.
Yes. So I believe it is Kathleen. You're going to share your screen first. Is that correct?
That is right. So
Alrighty.
Hopefully some of those viewers are from our Zone 2 crew, and they're going to let us know that in the chat.
Yes.
While I'm sharing my screen.
I see Coral Ridge, Klondike, McFerrin, Carter, Cameron. Where else do we have here? Fern Creek High School.
Nice.
Woo! Bates.
Nice.
Lassiter. Let's get it. Thank you all for joining us. All right, let's go.
Awesome. So we have a little competition in our team. Within our team going on here. So that's fun. So glad all of you are here. Just a quick refresher on how you actually access and get into the backpack for those of us who have been here before, but maybe we have some new teachers as well. So there are 3 different ways that you can access our backpack. And that first way, and probably the most easiest way for many of our students, would be to access it through that JCPS Quick Links folder. And you can see that right here on the left side of my browser. And I am using the Chrome browser. So you want to make sure that you're using that. When you click on that quick links, you'll see JCPS backpack. So that's one way that you can get to the backpack. Another way, you can simply type in jcps.backpack.me, and that will take you there. jcps.backpack.me. And then the third way, if you are in your Google Drive and you navigate over to your waffle, you'll be able to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And we are so fancy that we have that backpack icon right here in the waffle. So one of those 3 ways will take you and your students into the JCPS backpack. Now, if you haven't been there yet this school year, and if your students have not yet been there this school year, I would recommend that they actually log in to the backpack, because even though my screen took me straight into the backpack, you will probably have some permissions to accept. It is a new school year. There have been some updates. You may have some students that have never been to JCPS before. Obviously, our kindergartners are new, so they all need to log in with their JCPS into their JCPS backpack. And when they're on the Chromebooks, that should be fairly simple, and they'll have to click on allow. So make sure you're doing that. So now that I'm in my JCPS backpack, you can see I have several different tiles here to choose from that my awesome colleagues are going to talk about here in just a second. But the first thing I want to show is once the teachers are logged in, remember you do have your rosters button. And I think Matt is going to share more about that in a little while. But once you do click on your rosters, I think that it'll bring you here and they'll start populating your different Google Classrooms. So that's how we log into the backpack. Russ, are you up next?
No, I believe Matt is next to talk about the rostering.
Yes. Kathleen, awesome. Do you actually mind to drive for me through rostering really quickly? I'm so sorry. I tried to get OBS to let me add some scenes and stuff. Yeah.
No, you told me that, and then I closed out of it. Hold on 1 second here.
Oh, sure. No, you're fine. Thank you. So do we have any questions in the chat so far? Becca asked, what have your students added to their backpack so far this year? So, and Jim asked if anybody added any Minecraft stuff to their backpack. So if you're in the chat, please let us know some of the awesome things that your students have added as artifacts so far this year. And we'll share those out after we talk about our rostering. So, Kathleen's going to drive for me here. So let's talk about importing your rosters to your backpack from Google Classroom so you can see what your students have uploaded to their backpack. So as you can see here, we can see that Kathleen has already imported one roster to her backpack, and that is Mrs. Receiver's class. If you have any classes on there from last year, it might say archived on there, and those are just unimportant. You can go ahead and click those 3 dots right there, and if it's an archived class, you can just delete it. We're not going to do that, though, for our current classes. So, if we want to add one of our current classes, we're going to click on the plus button right where Kathleen's cursor is in the top right corner, and we're going to click that Import from Google Classroom option. So when we do this, we want to make sure that we are importing our provisioned rosters from Google Classroom. So you will see all of them listed there. You can see that Kathleen, since she's not a classroom teacher, doesn't have very many Google Classrooms. You will most likely have several of them. But what you will do is you will select one roster at a time. So if she was going to add Miss Receiver's class, she would click on it. She would make sure that it was up to date with the students that she has. And then she would just click that confirm button down at the bottom of that window. And what that would do is after a second or two, if maybe you have to refresh, it'll pop up the class just like we see it there. Kathleen, if you don't mind to click into that class for us. When you click into your rostered class, you can see it gives you the option up at the top to see school year 2021. But then it'll list out each of your students there, and it will tell you how many artifacts have been uploaded into each artifact folder. So you can see that there is one artifact in Effective Communicator and one artifact in Emerging Innovator here. Also, we have that little gray folder right there. That means that this student has gone into their backpack. Actually, am I encroaching on your territory, Russ, or is this still me?
No, actually, that was Kathleen's territory, but you take it, man.
Okay, yeah. Get out of my way, Kathleen. So, if your student has that gray folder there where you can see that it says View Artifacts, that means that they have signed in to their JCPS backpack and allowed those permissions. If they have not signed in yet this school year, it will appear as like I think, is there a plus sign on there? Is that correct?
Oh, well, let me just tell you, Matt, since you told me to get out of the way, there will be a plus sign there. And with that plus sign, so the teacher, I know in the past, some of our primary teachers may have clicked on that folder on the plus sign, and that should create the folders for the students. However, they still need to make sure they log in, because if they do not log in and accept those permissions, that can mess up with the artifacts later. But yes, to answer your question, there'll be a little plus sign there if the student has never accessed the JCPS backpack.
Yep. And so that's pretty much it. That is rostering. As long as you import your provisioned Google Classrooms, which are the ones that sync up with Infinite Campus, the backpack will automatically sync with those, and whenever students are added or removed, they will automatically sync. So, did I miss anything on rostering? I don't think I did. You have to do one class at a time, though. So,
yes, one at a time. You did great, Matt.
Thanks.
Awesome job.
All right, I believe we're on to Becca. Yeah.
Up next, Kathleen, if you want to let me share my screen, I'm just going to show you guys 2 videos that we have ready on our backpack playlist.
Sorry. So as you're pulling those up, Becca, we had Mary Barker in the chat said, "Is there a kid-friendly video to show the kids how to upload artifacts into their backpacks?" And I believe that is the video you were just about to show, correct?
How timely can you get?
Yeah.
Go Mary Barker, Zone 3.
Oop, I might have clicked the wrong one.
Nope, yeah, that was mine. Yeah.
Maybe I linked the wrong one twice.
And the best part is this video is only like 4 minutes long, guys. So it's not a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute video. It's 4 minutes long, and so it is really kid friendly and power of pause, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna press play on it. JCPS students, I'm going to walk you guys through how the JCPS backpack platform looks this year, so you can upload your artifacts. So once you're in your Google Drive, you can access your backpack through JCPS Quick Links by clicking on the backpack link, or you can go to your waffle and scroll down to that backpack icon. That's my favorite way. Once you're in there, your home page is going to look like this, and we're going to go to Artifacts to add artifacts to our skill folders. What you're going to do is go to that gray Add button. And you can choose a file from your device or your Google Drive. And you're going to find that file, you're going to upload, and you're going to press select. After that, it will prompt you to choose the academic year. You want to make sure that you're in 2021, obviously, and then you're going to choose the skills that your artifact correlates with. You're going to click OK, and your artifact is going to pop up at the top. Some really great things you can do with the platform this year is select your tag skill through one drop-down menu. So whichever ones you've chosen, you can quickly go in between as you're writing your reflection. So you're going to use that pencil and you're going to type your reflection in the box, and then you're going to reflect on each of those tag skills. You're going to select your skill, prepared and resilient learner, and you're going to write your reflection in there. And just as before, it's going to have this really great pop-up, and ask yourself some questions so that you can have a great reflection for each of your artifacts. So once you've gone through and written your reflections for all of those, it's going to automatically save. It will tell you if it's updated down at the bottom and how many words you've used. So another great thing is over here on your snowman, you can rename your artifact. You can edit your backpack skill tags. You can remove it from the 2021 year, and then you can refresh your data. So I really like the rename tool because a lot of times you're going to get copy of, or it will be called something that your teacher has named it, but you can make it personal to yourself. So if this was about science, you could say science third grade report, or whatever you have named it, pop that in there. And that'll clean up your backpack and make it look really professional. So another thing that happens when you start a new school year is your artifacts from the previous years are going to get archived. If you need to access those as you're reflecting on your work from previous years, you can go up to the academic year and toggle in between those years and check out your previous uploaded artifacts and edit those if you need to. So you're going to stay in the 2021 school year and upload that way. Thanks for watching.
Okay, and then the next one that we have available, this is going to go straight into uploading artifacts with your phone, because I know that's a big question. So we're going to watch Matt's video.
Actually, Becca, before we get started on that, I want to give a few shout outs to some people in the chat. Let me scroll up a little bit. Kimberly Dykes said that her art students have added different artifacts this year, currently doing a project for Native American Heritage Month, uploading under Globally and Culturally Competent Citizen. Somebody else said something on here about an election, and now I can't find it. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, Tara Murphy, our students just finished a whole unit in social studies on the election that they will upload in their backpack. And then Deborah, I'm going to say your last name wrong, I'm sure. Peden or Payden, I apologize. Their STLP students created a step-by-step slide to teach students how to upload artifacts that they're going to use for the regional competition projects. So, super awesome utilization of technology and classwork that you can put in there.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out real quick to Tanya Bates in the chat there, my old colleague from my Chenoweth days. I miss the Batesdale holiday shop every December, Miss Bates. So that's just a little inside thing. All right, thank you.
All right, no worries. And also, Kayla Clark, great job for representing Zone 1, sharing out first what's in your backpack. So keep sharing what's in your students' backpacks in the chat, and we're going to check out this quick video.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone. I am Matt Bolka, a high school digital innovation leader here in JCPS. And today, we're going to talk about uploading backpack artifacts from your phone. So you can see on my phone screen, I have my cute little dog Pip in there. And we are going to go to the Google Chrome app, which I already have downloaded. So we're going to click there. And what we're going to do, so you guys don't have to see any of my personal info, we are going to go create a new incognito tab. You can just do a normal tab for yourself, but I'm going to do an incognito one so you can see me go through the sign-in process. So in my search bar, I am going to type in jcps.me/backpack, and we're going to go there now. I'm going to log in with G Suite, just like you would, and I'm going to use my student tester account. So I use my @student.jefferson account to log in, and I'm actually going to select all, and I'm going to copy that line of text. That way, when I log in via Microsoft in just a second, I don't have to type that whole thing back in. So now it brings me to JCPS Office. I'm going to hold down and paste. That way I don't have to type out my email again. It's a pro tip for you. And I'm going to type my password in. Now when I click sign in, you will see that I am in the JCPS backpack. Now, I can see everything here that I usually would. I can see the JCPS choice boards from NTI. I can see Clever. I can see the Student Success Tracker. I can see showcases, and I can see artifacts. So let's go to artifacts, and now you can see that I have full access to these artifacts just like I would on a computer. For school year 2021, I want to add a new artifact, and I'm going to pick something from a file. So let's click on File, and I'm going to select a file from my device. I'm going to go to Photo Library. Now, I'm going to be a prepared and resilient learner. I've learned how to cook some meals over the summer, and I'm going to click on my eggplant parmesan. I'm going to click Done, and you'll see that when I click Upload, there we go. My photo is uploaded, and I have selected that I am a prepared and resilient learner. I'm going to click OK. And so what you'll see down here is something that we encourage all students to fill out as they upload their artifacts. Describe the learning experiences that led to this artifact. So I learned how to cook. And this is up to your school on how this is filled in. It's up to how it aligns with your backpack plan as well. And I could type in there whatever I need to in order to explain how me learning how to cook eggplant parmesan applies to prepared and resilient learner. And that is how you upload artifacts to the JCPS backpack from your phone. I did this on an iPhone, but the process will be very similar on an Android. You just go to Google Chrome, you go to the backpack, you sign in as a student, and then you select your artifacts to upload. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thanks, Matt. So I saw in the chat our Barker Finley crew shared out that those crayfish PBLs were something that they are putting in their backpacks, and I loved following along with them on Twitter and seeing people interact with each other. And they're currently working on their tiny house project-based learning, and their Google Sheets that they just did with their layout of their house is awesome. You guys have to check out their Twitter and see what they're doing.
All right, awesome. Well, I think, Russ, you might be up next, right?
I am. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
As you do that, that video we just showed was about uploading artifacts from your phone, but the process is actually similar on an iPad as well. It's going to work exactly the same as it would be for me uploading it on my my iPhone. It's just the screen will be bigger. So it's like dual purpose.
And so I'm kind of here to be the Tony Robbins type motivational speaker for you guys. When I talk about uploading artifacts to the backpack and we get your students uploading their own artifacts, I just want to say that your kids can, all right? I'm going to tell you why your kids can upload their own artifacts. Now I'm talking K through 12 here, that your kids can upload their own artifacts. When we would go into schools in the past, when the backpack first launched, we would always hear from teachers three main problems with uploading artifacts. They would say, one, we've got 500 kids in this school and we've got 1 cart or 2 cart of Chromebooks. You tell me how I'm going to have access to devices in order to make this happen for my kids, make my kids able to upload stuff into the backpack, right? Well, we're in NTI right now. Every kid is on a device, so access is not an issue during NTI, correct? So we don't have to worry about that 1 Chromebook cart being a problem, right? Your kids have access, so check, not an issue. The second thing we would always hear during backpack staff meetings or backpack meetings we would have in schools was the login issue. My kids, they'd be like, people would be like, my kids have this big long email address. Oh my gosh, it's their first name and then the da-da-da-da-da, you know. I don't want to give away the thing in case there's somebody from outside JCPS watching. It's just this big long email address, and then we got to type in their password on top of it, you know, and you expect a 5-year-old to know that. Well, yeah, that might have been an issue before, but guess what? Now they are already logged into their Google account. If they're joining you in Google Classroom or on a Google Meet every day, they're already logged in to their Google account. So login, not an issue anymore. The third issue we would hear is, again, goes back to that access issue of opportunity. Maybe you weren't doing much digital work pre-NTI. You probably because you had one Chromebook cart per 500 kids. But so like your kids weren't really doing digital work. So you were having to take analog work, like worksheet, like paper work or poster boards or whatever, and turn that into digital things like pictures or video or whatever. You were having to take the analog work and turn it into digital work. But guess what? Now that you're in NTI, everything you're doing is digital. So your kids have a great opportunity to do digital work. So these three things, access, login, and opportunity, are not an issue for kids during NTI, and especially during NTI 2.0. Those are not an issue anymore, all right? So your kids can. Remember, when we think about the JCPS backpack, we don't want it to be it's not a permanent record, okay? It's not like when we think of those old permanent records, those movies from the 80s especially really popular about like the principal would have the permanent record, or they say this is going on your permanent record, and it would be in a file cabinet in the principal's office, and the kid never knew what was in the permanent record. It was just something that the principal or the teacher was just constantly adding things to, but the kid never had access. With a JCPS backpack, that should not be what happens, okay? The kids need to be very involved with their JCPS backpack. Things should not just be put in there for the kids. The kids need to be putting things in there themselves, right? Okay, so just remember, it's not a permanent record like a permanent record where things are being added and the kid has no say as to what's being added. They pop in 2-3 years later and it's like, how did this get in here? So we don't want that. You're probably like, well, how am I going to do this during NTI? How about trying this? Try differentiated instruction. Man, we've heard that word for years, right? Differentiated instruction. And here it is in this world, backpack world, NTI 2.0 world. Try this. Always, number one, you're going to always give students the opportunity to upload it themselves first before you do anything else, all right? Utilize Google Classroom. I'm going to show you what that post will look like in Google Classroom when you try to get kids to upload it themselves in just a moment. If your Google Classroom post doesn't work, if they struggle with that, have the kids pop in during your office hours or meet with them in small groups, okay? Maybe you had, if you've got 25 kids in your classroom, maybe 5 to 7 of them were able to do it on their own from your Google Classroom post. But then for the rest of them, maybe you meet with them in small groups or they pop in during office hours, and you can have them share their screen as you walk them through uploading, okay? I'm going to give a quick shout out to Thomas Bechtel of Goldsmith Elementary. He gave me this idea about a month ago. He's like, if I have a student that's having a tech problem, I meet with them during office hours and I say, share your screen. And he records that Google Meet and he has them, he walks them through whatever they're asking, like I can't find this file or I can't find whatever. He walks them through step by step, and because he's recorded it, he shares that with that student, and so that student has it 2 weeks later when the student's like, I can't find that again. He's like, go back to the video, all right? So he's creating less work for himself, right, down the road. So again, always try to give your kids the opportunity to do it themselves first. And what's that post going to look like in Google Classroom? It's just going to look something like this. Good morning. You're going to add your fall project to your JCPS backpack. Number one, watch the uploading backpack artifacts for students video. That's the video we just watched, Rebecca's video. You would just post that in Google Classroom as a link. And then from there, you just say, number 2, add your fall project to the backpack by clicking the backpack link below. Because guess what? There's a fourth way of getting to the backpack. And that is just simply posting the link in your Google Classroom. backpack.jcps.me, the kids click on that, and because they're already logged into Google, it takes them directly into their backpack. So if your kids can get to Google Classroom, they can get to their backpack.
You know what? I 100% agree with every word that you have said. Our K students, R1 students, K can too. It's really important to take ownership for themselves and get into that backpack. And now that they're at home with their own device, I think that they're perfectly capable if you give them the right tools. So this post would be perfect to put in there into their classroom.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And no, go ahead.
That was just kind of my Tony Robbins. Your kids can do this. And like I said, there are just those barriers that existed before when we were in brick and mortar, where you didn't have the computers and your kids did not get on the computer that much, except when they went to computer lab or whatever. Those don't exist anymore. Okay. So your kids are in a great position to do this themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I've loved seeing everybody share what they're putting into their backpack and interact in the chat. Real quick, I have our envelopes and with your first and last names, please email me your address. And you guys are going to get a sticker in the mail. Kayla Clark, Mary Barker, Kimberly Dykes, Tara Murphy, and Deborah Pendon. So my email is just Rebecca.Reynolds. Or now everybody in the world knows that, but it should be just JCPS people.
Awesome. Thank you. Did we have anything else we wanted to cover on our agenda? I think I'm trying to look. It's very small text on my screen here. We wanted to. Yeah. Go ahead, Becca.
We were just gonna remind you of the backpack playlist. I don't know who's sharing screen right now. Nobody. To make sure you're subscribed to the channel and check out that backpack playlist. We are updating that as we speak. I'm working on that now to get videos that are important and updated. So that updated video for uploading artifacts is new. And then every week we're sending out that things to monitor. And there are links on there that are handy for you as well.
And since I don't necessarily have to share my screen for that, I'll show everybody right now. So if you go to jcpsdigitallearning.com, which is where you are now, go to playlists, and then the backpack support playlist is right here, and we can view the full playlist. So you can see uploading backpack artifacts for students is number 1, and then the other video we watched, uploading backpack artifacts from your phone, is number 2. I also mentioned previously in the chat the backpack success skills at home. That was a lesson or a session on the Digital Learning channel with Justin Elliott and Alan Young from the spring and earlier this fall, and it's great. It talks about how some of the things that your students are just doing with their families at home are things that they can easily upload to the backpack as ways that they're prepared and resilient learners and effective communicators and emerging innovators. So continue to pay attention to all this stuff. We're trying to tweet as much as we can about the backpack lately. Kirk Haynes said, where can we go to see student-friendly definitions or explanations of the success skills? Do one of you want to take that one?
Inside the backpack, actually, when you go to add an artifact, there is a little eye, for information that pops up, and it'll say, like, when you go to emerging innovator, you click on the eye, it'll say, like, what is an emerging innovator? And it goes into like 3 or 4 bullet points of what an emerging innovator is. So it's actually built into the backpack, Kirk. So that is something they thought about.
Yep. Absolutely. And I was trying to pull up on my other screen here the new normal. In the new normal, it'll break down the backpack success skills into those different indicators for you as well. So now that I have that pulled up, I believe I'm going to go ahead and copy that link and put it in the chat for you as well. So there, Kirk, is the new normal link. And if you scroll down to page... actually, I'm just going to copy this and put it over here really quickly so we can all see it. So if we scroll down to... Where is that page here? I can't even see what page. Page 22, you can see it takes prepared and resilient learner and breaks it up into the different definitions. So a prepared and resilient learner demonstrates knowledge of content skills and standards, or applies content knowledge to real-world contexts and reflects on successes and challenges. So it does this for all of the backpack skills. And I personally think that's the easiest way to digest it. It can be so like lofty to say, oh, I'm an emerging innovator, but when you come here and you look down and you say, oh, an emerging innovator takes appropriate risks and makes adjustments based on the successes and failures, it's much easier to apply that to a lesson than it is to just say emerging innovator. So I think the specificity of that really lends itself to be helpful to how you're planning your lessons. So we had the backpack support playlist that we showed you. We also wanted to show you, if you go to bit.ly/things to monitor, and I will also put that in the chat for you. This is something that we send out to our school innovation team Google Classrooms every Monday. And hopefully you are seeing this from your STCs or your LMSs or your SDILs or your AICs. But this is something that we do every week, and we want you to just kind of see some things that we've had on our minds that we think are pertinent and relevant. So you can see this past week, the JCPS Minecraft site was on there. We always shout someone on Twitter that you should follow. If you wanted to email Becca because you won one of those stickers, you can click on her email right here where it says Rebecca Reynolds. Or let's say you had a question for me or Russ or Kathleen. If you click there where it says Matt Bolka, oh, it's going to open my webmail for me. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't want it to do that. It'll take you right to where you can send me an email to ask me your questions. So we have those things in there for you. So let's go back over to the chat and see if we have any other questions. Dr. Coleman said, don't forget the performance outcomes for each skill. Those will help too, and it's linked inside the teacher backpack. So don't forget that. And let's see. I am seeing not too much more. Russ, Becca, do you guys have anything before you leave?
No, I think that's. I think it's. I think we've covered everything. Just one more thing about Kirk's question. I'm just going to another shout out to somebody in Zone 3. Skates Davis, kindergarten teacher at Goldsmith Elementary, created a poster with the backpack skills to put it in kid-friendly terms, kindergarten-friendly terms. So like prepared and resilient learner, like I try and I try again, that kind of stuff, where you put it in kid-friendly terms. That might be something you want to do, is talk about what it means, have that discussion in the Google Meet. What does a prepared and resilient learner really mean? Well, I keep trying, that kind of thing.
All right. Well, we appreciate all of you being with us this afternoon. I think we were up to like 68 viewers at one point. That's the highest I've seen in an afternoon in a long time. So thank you so much for being here, for chatting with us. Please let us know if you have any questions. We love to answer them and love to help you and your students get that stuff into your backpacks. So...
Yep, and if you guys have anything else to share that you didn't get to share in the chat, be sure to go on Twitter and use that hashtag JCPSDigIn and our hashtag JCPS Backpack and keep sharing.